Very good morning. We are going to resume with our revision uh, agenda for day 1, which was statistics module 4 and 5. Now, first let me quickly run through module 4. Now, if you look at module 4 is basically statistical representation of data, which is theory portion. Okay, so I'm quickly running through the major theory points that you should remember. For the theory MCQs, you can refer to your study material MCQs. That should help you more or less answer the MCQs for the examination, right? So the quick recap on module 4. Statistics. The word is derived from the Latin word status, which means political state. Okay, and this word status has other origins also. In Italian, it is from the word statista. In German, it is from the word statistic. Okay, so you look at the spellings. If you see it, you can identify the words Italian and the German spellings. Now, the definition of statistics, if you see, it has two definitions. One in the singular sense and another in the plural sense. In the singular sense, statistics refers to the method of collection, analysis, interpretation and presentation of data. However, in plural sense, statistics merely refers to the data that is collected. Now, what do you mean by data or raw facts? Raw facts or data is nothing but the information or the details that is collected for the first time. Unprocessed information is data. Okay. Now, when you look at the types of collecting or the methods of collecting data, there are primarily two sources. One we call it as the primary source and the other is called as the secondary source. Many questions come from this area. What is primary source? Where the data is collected for the first time. Data is recorded for the first time directly. Then that is primary source. Whereas if you are using already available data like school records, attendance register or government sources, census, internet, published information in the internet. So all this is becoming secondary sources. Okay? Right? So data collected for the first time is primary data, whereas data used from already available data is called as secondary data. Now, methods of collecting this primary data. There are technically 4 methods of collecting primary data. Direct interview, where you ask a person about them and they answer the question directly. Indirect interview, you ask someone else about the person and they give you the answer. Observation, where you don't ask anything, you just see or watch and record. And questionnaire, where it is a list of pre-filled questions and the answers are generally in one-word format or choose format like yes or no format, or you can say good, better, best, like that, options format, rating format, etc., where they don't have the scope to give an elaborate answer. Okay. Now, if you look at accuracy wise, direct interview will be the most accurate form of collecting data, whereas least accurate form will be questionnaire. Okay. Whereas if you look at coverage, questionnaire you will be able to cover more people at a particular time than any other method. Okay, so there are plus or minuses for each of the method, and in the examination they can even ask you based on that which method is more accurate from the point of view of time consumption, which method consumes more time. So like that they can ask you question. Classification of data. Now, classification, data is primarily classified into 2 types, which is quantitative data and qualitative data. Quantitative data is called as variable and qualitative data is called as attribute. Okay. Now, quantitative data can be further classified into discrete and continuous variables. Right? What what is discrete variable? Data that is isolated values. Individual isolated values is discrete variable. Whereas values within a range is known as continuous variable. Okay, values within a range is known as continuous variable. Now, if you look at the classification of data based on the method of categorization, then we call it as two classifications again, based on time, based on space. Now, based on time means data which is collected for across the time periods. Say for example, data on students of CMA Foundation across 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24. Now that is across time periods. Whereas spatial data or geographical data is data collected for the same time period but across different regions. Say data of CMA Foundation students of 2024 from Chennai, Bangalore, Calcutta, Hyderabad. Now that is geographical data. So these are the methods of classification of data. Clear so far? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And coming to the last, which is presentation of data. When you look at presentation, there are three overall methods of presentation: textual, tabular, diagrammatic or graphical presentation. Now when you look at textual data, data in the form of text or reports, where accuracy is the maximum. Okay, more information can be given, therefore it is the most accurate method of presentation. However, for easier comparison and analysis, tabular presentation is preferred. And if you want to do graphical or diagrammatic presentation, tabular presentation becomes the basic necessity. Now, what are all the different parts of a table? This is very important. Okay. The heading of the table title. The column's heading is known as the caption. The heading of each of the rows is called as the stub. And the entire inside content of the table becomes the body of the table. And in the last, you mention from where this data is collected, the source of the data is mentioned, which is called as the source note or the footnote. And so technically there are 5 parts of the table: title, caption, stub, body and footnote. And if you see the first part of the table where caption is included, caption is the place where unit of measurement will be given. So the part of the table where caption and title is covered is called as the box head. So the entire upper part of the table is called as the box head. Okay. And with respect to graphs, if you see, the types of graphs can be line diagram, bar diagram, pie chart, histogram, frequency polygon, frequency curve and ogives. Ogives are nothing but cumulative frequency curves, where the x-axis will be the values and y-axis will not be frequency, but y-axis will be cumulative frequency. Right? So these are all the basics of collection, analysis, collection, interpretation and presentation of data. Now coming to the second part of the basics chapter, which is frequency distribution. Now what is frequency? Frequency is nothing but the number of times a particular data is repeated. And frequency distribution represents either a discrete distribution or a continuous distribution. Now when you say continuous distribution, it will have a class range. So class range or class interval means it can be like this. (10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. and the frequencies being say 3, 2, 4, 1, like this, something like this. Now each of this is called as a class interval. The lower value is called as the lower limit, upper value is called as the upper limit. Now where the values are overlapping or where the values are having no gap, then that is called as exclusive and exhaustive intervals. Okay. However, now in this, before I go to the next point, in this, if you have a value, say 20, this, where will 20 appear? Will it appear in 10 to 20 or 20 to 30?
20 to 30.
20 to 30, which means the value of the interval excludes the upper limit and includes the lower limit. Which means 10 will be included but 20 will not be included. Here 20 will be included, 30 அடுத்த கிளாஸ்க்கு போய்டும். So it excludes the upper limit but includes the lower limit. Okay. Now if you have an interval like this, 11 to 21, 22 to 31, 32 to 41, 42 to 51. Now what happens here? There is a gap. Now we have to fill this gap by changing these limits to boundaries. Changing this limit to boundaries. Now how to change the limits to boundaries? You have to do, from the lower limit you need to subtract half of the gap. What is the gap? The gap is 1 unit. In the 1 unit la padi. So which is 1 by 2. So 11 minus 1 by 2 or 0.5, which is 10.5. Similarly, in the upper limit, you need to add half of the gap. So plus half of the gap. So 21 plus 1 by 2, 21.5. So the revised limits will become 10.5 to 21.5. 21.5 to, what will be the value?
31.5.
31.5 and so on. Now this is called as the class boundaries. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, coming to the other formula, class range or class width or class length is given as upper limit minus lower limit. And class mark or mid value is given as upper limit plus lower limit divided by 2. Relative frequency of the class is frequency of the class by total frequency. And frequency density is given as frequency of the class divided by class length. And the last term, cumulative frequency. What is cumulative frequency? It is nothing but total of the frequency column for each of the variable. Say for a given set of variables, if you are adding the frequency one after the other, then that is called as cumulative frequency. Now cumulative frequency can be less than the type cumulative frequency or more than type cumulative frequency. Commonly what we use is called as less than type cumulative frequency. Remember, for calculating median graphically, this cumulative frequency is used, and the graph that we use to calculate median is ogives. Similarly, for calculating mode graphically, the graph that we use is histogram. Remember these 2 points. Graphically, for cumulative frequency, we use ogives, and the intersection point of the cumulative frequency of the two graphs will give us the median. Whereas histogram will be adjacent bars which will give us the value of the mode. Okay? So with these are the basics to be remembered from this chapter. 5 minutes time, quickly run through and take down relevant notes wherever required. Any doubts? Please let me know.
கிளாஸ் லிமிட்ஸ் வந்துட்டு கால்குலேட் பண்ணும்போது ஒரு செட்ல இப்ப வந்துட்டு அப்பர் லிமிட் லோயர் லிமிட் ஒரு செட்ல இருக்கோம்ல மேம், அதோட தானே கால்குலேட் பண்ணணும். நம்ம வந்துட்டு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் செட்டோட இதையும் செகண்டோட அது மாதிரி கால்குலேட்
கிடையாது கிடையாது. For the respective classes only you need to calculate.
ஓகே மேம். எஸ் மேம்.
Yeah. Okay. So this summarizes module 4. Shall we go on to the next module? Very, very, very important module. Question about easier around 5 to 7 questions. அதாவது 10 15 marks coming from this chapter. Okay. Measures of central tendency, dispersion and skewness. All three put together. Okay. Very, very scoring module. Now, this is again majority formula oriented. You are expected to remember formula, properties and formula application questions will be there. But theory questions irundhaduna property tested based questions irukum. Okay, so statistics la you will have a mixture of theory based and practical based questions, and theory based questions will be based out of the properties that we are learning in the class. Okay, so let's start with the first part, measures of central tendency. Now measures of central tendency, if you see, there are technically three measures of central tendency: mean, median and mode. Mean la there are three types of mean: arithmetic mean, geometric mean and harmonic mean. Now if you look at the formula, I have given the formula for non-frequency, discrete frequency and class interval, which is continuous frequency distribution. So எல்லாத்துக்கும் formula தனித்தனியா கொடுத்திருக்கேன். You can remember this formulae as the concise version for this measures of central tendency chapter. Okay, first one, arithmetic mean. For non-frequency distribution, sigma x by n, sum of all observations by number of observations. For discrete frequency, you should multiply x with frequency, so sigma fx by sigma f. And for continuous frequency, sigma fm, where m is the mid value of the class intervals, divided by sigma f. Now coming to geometric mean. Now remember, geometric mean, question will not say where you should use geometric mean. You should remember where geometric mean can be used. Where can geometric mean be used? It can be used in places like percentage of changes, rates of changes, ratios. In the many words irundhuduna, directa you can use the geometric mean. Okay, question sollalanalu you will apply geometric mean. What is the meaning of geometric mean? It is the nth root of product of observations. Nth root of product of observations. For a non-frequency distribution, x1 into x2 into x3 so on, you will multiply each of the observation, which is product eduthukano, then take the root. Which root you need to take? How many ever observations are there, that many root you need to take. Say 5 observations na 5th root, 4 observations na 4th root. Like that you need to take for geometric mean. Now if it is a discrete frequency distribution, you will do x1 to the power f1 into x2 to the power f2 into x3 to the power f3. The whole root based on sigma f. Same way for continuous frequency, where only difference is instead of x we will use the mid values. And to the last type of mean, which is harmonic mean. Now what is harmonic mean? Harmonic mean is the reciprocal of arithmetic mean of reciprocal of observations. Now where harmonic mean is used? Where the question is related to speed or the question is related to per unit. Okay, per unit ingra word irundhaduna, per minute, per unit, per measure, and the mari per அப்படிங்கிற value irundhaduna, anga harmonic mean will be relevant. Okay, so remember, for geometric mean the hints will be rates, percentages. For harmonic mean, speed, per unit, like speed la vandu per kilometer nu irukum, apra vandu product per minute, per piece and the mari irukum. So wherever this per denomination is there, you can use harmonic mean. Okay, question will not say whether you have to use geometric or harmonic mean. They will only say calculate average. எந்த average relevant ன்னு you have to find out and apply. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now for practice, before we go into the other practice questions, just for having a hang of the formula, you are going to do a question where we will calculate arithmetic mean, geometric mean and harmonic mean. Yeah, before that I think harmonic mean we haven't discussed the formula. Harmonic mean is given as n divided by sigma 1 by x. Okay, and for frequency distribution it is sigma f divided by sigma f into x கிடையாது, sigma f into 1 by x or f by x. Okay, so it is reciprocal of observations. So remember f by x, and instead of x if you replace by mid value, then it becomes a continuous frequency distribution. Now let's do a practice question on these three areas. Question number 1, example number 1. Calculate arithmetic mean, harmonic mean and geometric mean for these three examples. So I am giving you one in normal non-frequency, one in discrete frequency, one in continuous frequency. Go ahead, calculate. For all the three, you need to calculate AM, GM, HM and give me the values. Start. I hope you have taken down the questions. The formula page is here for your reference for calculation. Can you give me the answers for AM? For AM, we need to do total of all the observations divided by total number of observations, which is total 175 by total number of observations 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 21.875. Are you getting this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now if you see AM for the second set, okay, we need to do sigma fx. So fx means multiply f into x. 33, 13 into 2, 26, 14, 64 and 17 into 6. 1 or 2 and take the total. Divided by, so the total will be 229 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kadayadu. We should not take the total of denominator as 5 or n as 5. We should take it as sigma f. What is sigma f? 5, 6, 10, 16. So divided by 16, which will give us 14.31. And here, first we need to calculate the mid value. Mid value is nothing but upper limit, lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. 10 plus 20 by 2, 30 by 2, 15, 25, 35. And now do f into m, which is 15, 25 into 4, 100, 35 into 3. One not 5. taking the total 15 plus 100 plus 105 divided by total number of frequencies. Total of frequency 4 plus 1 5 plus 3 8. So 220 divided by 8, which is 27.5. So these are the three values of arithmetic mean in this particular example. Are you getting them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you go ahead and give me the values of geometric mean? Are you working out?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So I will wait. Please work out and give me the values of geometric mean. Okay. So let's go to geometric mean. First one. Product of observation, and then we need to take the 8th root. So you need to do 11 into 21 into 23 into 24 into 27 into 28 into 31 into 10. Now sometimes what might happen, you may not have enough memory in your calculator. Ellathiyu total panna calculator la memory edam pattadu. So you can group it. You can group it as, say, first 4 and next 4 also you can group. So you can take product like this. First 4, if I take, I will get 11 into 21 into 23 into 24, which is 127, 512. Now when you take the root, you should not take 4th root. Total root which root are we to take here? We are going to take the 8th root. Now to take the 8th root, you can press the square root button in your calculator 3 times, not 4 times. 2 into 2 into 2 is 8. So 3 times you need to press the square root button. So you will get 4.34 for the first 347 varum. That is the first 4 observation. Now you can put the same for the next 4 observation. 27, 28, 31, 10 you can do. Into 31 into 10. You will get, and take cubic root, sorry, 8th root, which is square root button 3 times. You will get 4.6906 or 07. Now you can multiply these two directly. 4.6907 into 4.347. You will get the final answer as 20.390. Got it? Now here, for the next one, I will tell you the hint you can do. You have to do 11 into 3 kadayadu. 11 to the power 3 into 13 to the power 2 into 14 to the power 1 into 16 to the power 4 into 17 to the power 6. And finally, you need to take 16th root. 16th root, how you will take? You will take it by doing 4 times square root in your calculator. Okay? And the same way, for third question also, you should take the mid value 15 to the power 1, then same way 25 to the power 4 and 35 to the power 3. Can you give me the answer for second and third one? Yes? Yes, answer, ma'am.
இப்ப 16th ரூட் போடணும்ல மேம் இப்ப செகண்ட் சமுக்கு
Yes.
அப்ப அப்படி போடும்போது 4 டைம்ஸ் போட்டா கரெக்டா இருக்குமா
கரெக்டா இருக்கும். Yes. Go ahead, work out the second and third and give me the answer. Let me wait till you get the answer. So you will be getting an answer of approximately 14.74. Something like this you will be getting the answer. And the next one, for the third one, you should be getting an answer of you should be getting somewhere around 26.61. So these should be the answers of your GM. Please check. Now coming to harmonic mean. Shall I continue? Now harmonic mean, what is the formula for harmonic mean? Reciprocal of arithmetic mean of reciprocal of observations. So first what we need to do? We need to do 1 by x and take the total. Then we should do n divided by 1 by x for the normal non-frequency type. So take the total of 1 by x, 1 by 11, 1 by 21, 1 by 23. Like that we need to take the total. So you will get an answer of about 18.66 for the first one. Now for the second one, you need to do f by x, which is 3 by 11, 2 by 13. Like that you need to do. Please use the m plus symbol in your calculator for easier working. So 3 by 11, 2 by 13. Like that you can calculate. So the answers are HM 18.66, second one will be 14.53, and for the third one will be you have to take the values as 1 by 15, 4 by 25, 3 by 35. Okay, and then numerator will be 8. 8 divided by the total of these values. So you will get 25.609 or 61. So these are the values for this question. In case you have not completed, please take them down. You can validate them later. I hope you are clear with the formula. Can we move on to the next? Yes, sir. Please give me an answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep. Okay. So now we move on to the next important two measures, which is median and mode. Now what is median? Median is a positional measure used to find out the middle position. Median is used for open-ended class intervals, where open-ended means you do not know the starting point or the ending point. Okay. Now for median, again, If it is odd number of values, you have to take the n plus 1 by 2th position. If it is even number of values, then you need to take the average of n by 2 comma n by 2 plus 1th position. Okay, and same way for discrete frequency. When it comes to continuous frequency, this is where you need to be careful. We have a formula, we call it as the interpolation formula. We need to take L plus n by 2 minus n1 divided by n2 minus n1 into C. Or you might have learned it as n by 2 minus CF, preceding CF by frequency of the class into C, class length. Any formula that you have learned, whichever you are comfortable, you can use. There is no hard and fast rule that use pananonu. Whichever way you are comfortable, you can work out. Now quickly let's do a sample question, set of questions for all the 3 patterns under median. Shall we start?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So for median, we are going to do first example. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's okay. I am putting another one. 8. So there are 8 observations. N is equal to 8. Now first thing you need to check in a median or a partition value is whether they are arranged in ascending order. Now here it is arranged in ascending order. Therefore we can keep it as it is. Now we need to see for even. The median position is n by 2 comma n by 2 plus 1. What is n by 2? 8 by 2, which is 4. So 4th and 4 plus 1, 5th position. Now in the ascending order, count 1, 2, 3, 4. 4th position and 5th position. Therefore, the median value is the average of the 4th and 5th position. 15 plus 17 by 2. The answer for median will be 16. Answer for median will be 16. Next, same. Now I am going to do a frequency distribution model. Now for a frequency distribution model, to find the median value, we use the cumulative frequency. So 3 total, 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 3, 8, 8 plus 1, 9, 9 plus 2, 11. Okay. So now we have total 11 observations. 11 is odd number of observations. So we need to take the formula for odd values as n plus 1 by 2th position. Now how to take n plus 1 by 2? 11 plus 1 by 2, which is 12 by 2, 6th position. Now 6th position, now 6th position will be, first 3 is given, then 5, then 8. So we don't have 6 exactly coming, which means it is going to be here. Okay, you need to take the value corresponding to the higher value. So in the cumulative frequency, 6th position lies in between 5 and 8. So I call this as N1. I call the corresponding value as N2. Now the corresponding to N2, whatever is your value corresponding to cumulative frequency of N2, that is the value of the median. So here median value is going to be 14. Is that clear? This is for a discrete frequency distribution. Am I clear, friends?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now coming to a continuous frequency distribution. This formula is very, very important. Now suppose I am going to do a cumulative frequency here. I will do 3, 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 1, 6, 6 plus 3, 9. Now for a continuous frequency distribution, we need not worry whether the value of the total number of total n value, whether it is odd or even. We can directly do n by 2, which is 9 by 2, 4.5. Because continuous distribution we can have this decimal deviation, decimal values. Now remember the formula. Median in case of a continuous frequency distribution is L plus n by 2 minus n1 divided by n2 minus n1 into C. Now what is this n2 and n1? 4.5 is the median value position. 4.5 lies between 3 and 5 in the cumulative frequency. Cumulative frequency column la da paakano for median. So preceding value is called as n1, succeeding value is called as n2, and corresponding to n2, n2 ku nera edu irukko, this is what is called as the median class, and this will become the value of lower limit or L. Okay, so this 21 is L. Now L is equal to 21, n1 is 3, n2 is 5, and what is the class length here? The gap of this interval 21 to 31, the class length is 31 minus 21, which is 10. So substituting in the formula, please substitute and give me the answer. .5 will be the median. So on substituting you get 28.5 as the median. Now here remember one very, very important point. If the class intervals are non-exhaustive, say if it is like 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40 appadi irundaduna, what we need to do? We need to convert the limit into class boundaries. Do you remember? We just learnt it in the previous chapter. Plus 0.5 for the upper limit, minus 0.5 for the lower limit. You need to convert them into class boundaries, and for using this, for calculating this L value and class length value, you should use only the class boundaries and not the class limits. Am I clear? Yes? Friends, yes or no, please answer. Okay, so I am assuming you are clear. I am going to the next one, which is calculation of mode. What is mode? Mode is nothing but the most repeated value. So whichever value occurs with the maximum frequency is mode. Same way, if it is going to be for for a discrete frequency distribution, whichever has the highest frequency will be called as the mode. And for continuous frequency distribution, we have the formula L plus f1 minus f0 divided by f1 minus f2 plus f1 minus f0 into C, where f0 represents the preceding frequency, f1 represents the highest frequency or the modal frequency, and f2 represents the succeeding frequency. So let's do a quick question on class frequency model alone, cumulative frequency model alone, continuous distribution curve. I think the others you can directly compute mode because it is just based on highest frequency. So I am just doing this one for example. Okay, let me do it with the so assume this is the interval. Now first thing that you should see here is the interval is non-exhaustive. In median or mode, if you find this, you should first convert them into class boundaries. So the gap is 1, 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. So you have to divide, minus 0.5 in the lower limit plus 0.5 in the upper limit. So 10.5 to 20.5, 20.5 to 30.5. 30.5 to 40.5 and 40.5 to 50.5. Now look at the frequency column. The same frequency column is remaining 2, 2, 4 and 3. The highest frequency is called as the F1. Preceding frequency is F0. Succeeding frequency is F2. Now the formula is L plus F1 minus F0 divided by F1 minus F0 plus F1 minus F2 into C. So what is L? The value corresponding to the lower limit or lower boundary of modal class. What is modal class? Corresponding to F1. Corresponding to F1 the modal class. Okay. So here 30.5. You should not take 31. If you take 31, answer is wrong. You should take based on class boundary only. 30.5. Same in median, the point that I told you, same point will hold good for mode. So 30.5 F1 4 minus 2 divided by 4 minus 2 plus 4 minus 3 F1 minus F2 into C. Now what is C? You should not take 31 to 40. 31 to 40 in a C will be 9, which is wrong. You should take it based on the class boundary. So 40.5 minus 30.5, C is 10. So you will get 30.5 plus 2 by 2 plus 1 into 10. Six 36, 37.17. Huh? Are you getting this? Can you confirm? Yes, 37.1666 or 37.17. Now this is the mode for the given example. So with this we have completed the 3 measures of central tendency, which is mean, median and mode computation. Any doubts in the computation? Clear? Okay, good. So no doubts, I am assuming you are clear. Now coming to the important part of this computation, which is properties. Now, properties of central tendency. Some very important properties. The questions can be from properties or questions can be based on this formula for application also. Okay. First point. When all the observations are the same, then mean, median and mode is also the same value. Second, when the values are different, then always AM will be greater than GM, which will be greater than HM. Or we can otherwise calculate as GM is equal to root of AM into HM. So if AM and HM is given, they are asking you GM. Now you can do AM into HM panite, you can take the square root. Next, the relationship between mean, median and mode is called as the Karl-Pearson's relation or empirical relationship, which is given as mode is equal to 3 median minus 2 mean. In the mean with the arithmetic mean only. Next, the formula that I have given in bold, idella exam questions la possible formula, which is practical question la vara formula. For combined measure, especially combined arithmetic mean, they can ask. Combined arithmetic mean, if they have given arithmetic mean of a combined group and they have given two separate means, how to find out the missing figure or how to find out the combined mean? We can use the formula. Combined AM is equal to N1, which is number of observations of the first group, into arithmetic mean of the first group, plus N2, number of observations of the second group, into arithmetic mean of the second group, divided by N1 plus N2. Now in the formula, they can either ask you to find combined AM or arithmetic mean of either group 1 or group 2, or all arithmetic means they will give you. They will ask you to find out the number of observations or proportion of observations. Say find the proportion of boys and girls in the class, find the proportion of skilled and unskilled labor. Like that they can ask you to find. We will do practical questions, but this formula again very repeated example, repeated question formula. Next, combined GM is equal to root of GM1 into GM2. And combined HM, we will use N1 plus N2 divided by N1 by HM1 plus N2 by HM2. But of all the three, most repeated area will be combined AM question. Okay. Now coming to fifth property, arithmetic mean. Sum of deviations from arithmetic mean will always be 0. However, for median, sum of absolute deviations means modulus. Sum of absolute deviations from median is going to be minimum. Not 0, minimum. Remember the point. Coming to the last, very important property again, repeated property in terms of questions. Measures of central tendency, which is mean, median and mode, is affected by change in origin, which is addition or subtraction of a value, and change in scale, which is multiplication or division of a value. Now when I say A plus BX, this A represents change in origin and this B represents change in scale because this is multiplication. Okay, so we should just use the same property. We should say for arithmetic mean or for median or mode, basically for central tendency, the entire formula will be y is equal to A plus BX, where A represents change in origin, B represents change in scale. Okay. So whenever you are given a variable along with an equation, you have to substitute the value of the variable in that equation for central tendency. But remember, for dispersion, correlation, etc., the property will change. So remember, for central tendency, the entire formula will apply, entire equation will apply as it is. Okay. Now in the last property, for correction of arithmetic mean, always to correct a given value, you should first find out the total. What is the total? Sigma x, or wherever relevant, x square na sigma x square, x na sigma x. So you should find out sigma x. You should add the correct values and subtract the wrong values. And once you add and subtract the correct and wrong values, you will get the corrected total. And we can use the corrected total to find out the corrected mean. We will be doing some past questions based on this, but these are the basic properties to remember. Clear? So with this, we complete your properties of measures of central tendency. Now the last part of central tendency is partile values or partition values. What is this partition values? Quartiles, deciles and percentiles. Quartiles divide the observation into 4 parts. And how many quartiles are there? Q1, Q2, Q3. Deciles divide the observation into 10 parts. There are 9 deciles starting from D1 to D9. And percentiles will divide the observations into 100 parts starting from P1 to P99. And for everything, how to find the position, I have given it to you. Okay? You can use the same rule like how we do it in median. Median ku eppadi kandupidipomo, same method you can adopt. Just that instead of in median we will do n plus 1 by 2. Here we need to do for quartile, first quartile na n plus 1 by 4. Third quartile means 3 into n plus 1 by 4. Decide. Suppose they ask you D7 for example, 7 into n plus 1 by 10. So like that you can just adopt and change the formula. So this summarizes measures of central tendency in terms of formulae and conceptual recap. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now before we go to measures of dispersion, you can have a quick break for about 15 minutes and we will resume after the break. We will be doing the formula and practice some sample questions on measures of dispersion also, and then together with dispersion and central tendency we will do the past examination and practice questions. Okay, take a quick break and we will resume in 15 minutes. So we are going to start off with measures of dispersion. Now what is dispersion? It refers to the amount of deviation from the central tendency value. Now measures of dispersion can be absolute or relative. Absolute measure will give you the actual value of dispersion, whereas relative measure is a unit-free measure which is used for comparison. Now what are the 4 measures of dispersion? Range, mean deviation, quartile deviation and standard deviation. Okay, now range, which is nothing but largest minus smallest observation. For any type of data, it is largest data value minus smallest value. Remember, frequency is not relevant for range. We should only take the X column and take the largest value and smallest value for range. Next, mean deviation. Mean deviation is the arithmetic mean or average of absolute deviations. Absolute means what? Within modulus, which means we are going to take the data without the sign. Negative sign has to be ignored. We will take the data as modulus of x minus x bar divided by n. If it is frequency, then modulus of x minus x bar into f. We have to multiply it with f and then divide it by total frequency. Same way for continuous distribution, only difference is for continuous we will take the mid values. Now remember, for mean deviation we will be using mean or median or mode. Question silent use mean, but sometimes if the question asks you find the mean deviation about median, about mode abdina, instead of arithmetic mean you should use the median or mode as asked in the question. Next, quartile deviation or otherwise called as semi-interquartile range. Formula is the same, Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. Next, standard deviation. Standard deviation is given as average of squared deviations. Squared deviations means x minus x bar the whole square. Now remember, here we are going to use only x bar. Okay, so the formula is x minus x bar the whole square divided by n taken within the root. Or alternate formula another, sigma x square by n minus x bar the whole square. I have written that alternate formula also in that page, just expressing it to you. So, root of sigma x square by n minus x bar the whole square. Now instead of this x bar, you can write it as sigma x by n the whole square also. Now if it is frequency distribution, it will be multiplied with f. Okay? The formula is given to you here. Clear? Now for standard deviation, remember the square or the value is within the root. So if you remove the root, or in otherwise if you square the standard deviation, it is called as variance. And for the first n natural numbers, if you want to find out the standard deviation, we will use the formula root of n square minus 1 divided by 12. It is a derived formula, but you can remember it as a shortcut. Root of n square minus 1 divided by 12. Okay. Now coming to relative measures. Coefficient of range L minus S by L plus S into 100. Coefficient of mean deviation divided by arithmetic mean into 100. Coefficient of quartile deviation, Q3 minus Q1 by Q3 plus Q1 into 100. Or another formula is quartile deviation. Please note down the alternate formula for coefficient of quartile deviation. Quartile deviation by median into 100. Quartile deviation by median into 100. அதே value தான் கிடைக்கும், but just alternate version of the formula. Q3 minus Q1 by Q3 plus Q1 into 100, or otherwise quartile deviation by median into 100. And for coefficient of variation, this is for standard deviation, SD by AM into 100. Now standard deviation is practically represented, they will either use the letter SD or they can use the symbol this, which represents standard deviation. Okay, x bar represents AM. So these symbols you have to remember so that it is easy for you to refer in the examination. Clear? Now quickly let's do one question just for calculation of calculation practice for standard deviation and for mean deviation and standard deviation. I am directly getting into one question. Okay, now calculate standard deviation. Now you can, for standard deviation, you first need x bar. For both mean deviation, okay, calculate mean deviation and standard deviation. For mean deviation also, about mean you need x bar. Now how to find x bar? Sigma, it is not sigma x by n, it is sigma fx by sigma f. Remember that. 33, 26, 68, 18, 38. $183. $15.25. So now we need to do x minus x bar. You have to take modulus for mean deviation. Okay, and for standard deviation you need to take x minus x bar the whole square. Then you need to multiply these values with f. So for example, first x minus x bar modulus பண்ணனும்னா x is 11. 11 minus 15.25, which is minus 4.25, but minus sign is ignored, so 4.25 into 3 into f nala. $12.75. Same way. Next one is 2.25 into 2. 4.50. Next 17 minus 15.25 into 4. 7. 18 minus 15.25 into 1. 2.75. And 19 minus 15.25. 3.75 into 2. 7.50. $34.50. So therefore mean deviation will be 34.50 divided by 12, which is 2.875. Now for standard deviation, we need to take squared deviations. Squared means 11 minus 15.25 is 4.25 minus 4.25. Square it. So 4.25 minus 4.25 into minus 4.25. Minus into minus will anyways be plus. So 4.25 into 4.25 is 18.0625 into frequency. So into f. You get 54.1875. Same way for the others. So you get a total of 112.25. Therefore, standard deviation will be root of 112.25 divided by n sigma f, which is 12. So root of 9.35416. So root of 9.35416. 3.05 or 06. 058, so 06. Now this will be the answer for standard deviation. I hope this example is clear. You can also use the alternative formula, fx square by sigma f minus x bar the whole square. That also you can use. That is an easier formula also to adapt. So depending on what type of information is available and how it is easier for you to calculate, you can use whichever formula is comfortable. This is just for a practice and a quick recap that we did this question now. Done? Can I continue?
Yes,
Yeah. Now coming to properties of measures of dispersion. When all the observations are 0, the measure of dispersion are the same, the measure of dispersions will be 0. Sum of deviations from arithmetic mean will be 0. Sum of squared deviations from arithmetic mean will be minimum. Please make a note of it. Sum of squared deviations from arithmetic mean will be minimum. Next, sum of absolute deviations from median will be minimum. Mean deviation about median will be always less than mean deviation about mean or mode. Now coming to the relationship. Range is approximately equal to 2 times standard deviation. Mean deviation is approximately equal to 4 by 5 standard deviation. And quartile deviation equal to 2 by 3 standard deviation. Got it? Now you have the formula for combined standard deviation. This one has not been very frequently tested at all at your level. However, just for reference purposes, I have added this formula in case there is a question that is coming, which is root of n1 into sd1 square plus n2 into sd2 square plus n1 into d1 square plus n2 into d2 square divided by n1 plus n2. Root வந்து full-ஆ apply பண்ணணும். Where d1 is equal to x arithmetic mean of the first value minus combined arithmetic mean. You remember the combined arithmetic mean formula. Correct? So same way, d2 is equal to arithmetic mean of the second minus combined arithmetic mean. And the last property, measures of dispersion is not affected by origin, but it is affected by change in scale, which is by only to the extent of the value, that is magnitude and not direction. So we use the formula in the equation, a plus bx la a will not be relevant. In b, sign will not be relevant, only the value of b will be relevant, and therefore we use the equation y is equal to modulus of b into x. Modulus of b na sign is ignored, only the value will be taken. Remember, this will apply only to range, quartile deviation, mean deviation, standard deviation, which means only to the absolute measure. Coefficients கொடுத்தாங்கன்னா அதை absolute-ஆ convert பண்ணிட்டு தான் you can apply this formula. So please do not apply the formula to relative measures. Okay, very very important property. Please make a note.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
நம்ம இதே மாதிரி ஃபார்முலா a equal to y equal to
a plus bx னு பார்த்திருக்கோம். That is for central tendency.
mean median அதுக்கு யூஸ் பண்ற ஃபார்முலா.
Correct.
இது வந்துட்டு measures of dispersion குறியறதுல நம்ம யூஸ் பண்றது.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely. ஓகேவா? So questionல எதுக்கு கேக்குறாங்கங்கறத பார்த்துட்டு தான் you have to choose the formula correctly. Make a note of it. So continuing, we go to the last part, which is an extension of dispersion, which is measures of skewness. Now skewness, there are 3 types of skewness which you have to mainly remember. Okay, absolute skewness is arithmetic mean minus median, or arithmetic mean minus mode, or median minus mode. But idha vida very important is these 3 types of skewness, which is Karl-Pearson's coefficient, Bowley's coefficient, or Kelly's coefficient. Now Karl-Pearson's coefficient formula is arithmetic mean minus mode divided by standard deviation. Bowley's coefficient is Q3 minus 2 median plus Q1 by Q3 minus Q1. And Kelly's coefficient is D9, which is D is decile, okay? Minus 2 median plus D1 divided by D9 minus D1. இதுல very very important is Karl Pearson's coefficient of skewness, which is AM, arithmetic mean minus mode by standard deviation. Okay, so these are the three formula for standard skewness. Karl Pearson uses arithmetic mean, mode and standard deviation. Bowley will be using quartile and median. Kelly's will be using decile and median. So remember these distinctions. Is that clear, friends? Okay, so now given all these points, all the points that we have revised with respect to central tendency, dispersion and skewness, we will start with practical questions from this chapter, repeated area segment questions from this chapter. Shall we? First one. Because of heavy rain on Sunday, the average rainfall of the city for a week increased to 0.6 from an average of 0.3 measured from Monday to Saturday. What was the rainfall on Sunday? So, they are using average, which is arithmetic mean formula. Average from Monday to Saturday, which means how many days? Monday to Saturday is 6 days, so the average was 0.3. However, Sunday it was a heavy rainfall, therefore average including Sunday means 7 days average increased to 0.6. So find out the total. Always I told you find out the total. How to find out the total? X bar into n. Because x bar is nothing but sigma x by n. So n in the pukka edutittu pona, you will get the total. So we need to do 0.3 into 6, which is 1.8, and 0.6 into 7. 4.2. Therefore, Sunday rainfall is equal to sigma x of 7 days minus sigma x of 6 days, which is 4.2 minus 1.8. How much? 2.4 inches. Clear? Next question. The mean of daily salary paid to all employees is 600. Mean of salaries paid to male and female. So category is coming. Category vandadunave arithmetic mean la we have to use combined mean. So male and female is 620 and 520. Find the ratio of male and female employees in the company. Now, when we have to find the ratio, first we need to, let's put the formula and keep. Combined mean is equal to first mean n1 into x1 plus n2 into x2 divided by n1 plus n2. Now, I know combined mean is how much? 600. Is equal to, now let's put x1 as male group and x2 as female group. Now male group is 620, female is 520. So I will write it as n1 into 620 plus n2 into 520 divided by n1 plus n2. Now I do not know n1 and n2. Always when you do not know the total, when the total is silent or when you do not know, assume total is 100. Okay, assume total is 100. So, n1 plus n2 is equal to 100 or n2 is equal to 100 minus n1. So, you can now substitute. 100 is equal to, 600 is equal to n1 into 620 plus n2 ku badalaga you can write it as 100 minus n1 into 520 divided by 100. n1 plus n2 is 100. Now substitute and solve for n1. Using n1 we can solve for n2. n1 plus 5200 minus 520 n1. So you get 60,000 minus 52,000 on the other side becomes minus. So we can take it as 8,000 is equal to 620 minus 520, which is 100 n1. So n1 is equal to 80. Now substitute in the total. We know n1 plus n2 is equal to 100. Therefore n2 will be 100 minus 80, n2 will be 20. Now they are asking what is the ratio of male is to female, which is ratio of n1 is to n2, which is nothing but 80 is to 20 or 4 is to 1 on simplification. That is the final answer. They can ask you instead of ratio, they can ask us percentage of male female, proportion of male female. Idhila edhu ketalum same method. Is that clear? Next. Third question. The sum of deviations of a certain number of observations measured from 4 is 72. Sum of deviations measured from 7 is minus 3. The mean of the observations is. So, how to find out the mean? Now, sum of deviations measured from 4 is 72 and sum of deviations measured from 7, correct? Is minus 3. Now how to find the mean? Very simple. Remember, if the exact correct mean is given, then sum of deviations from arithmetic mean should be 0. So we have to come somewhere in between. 72 is very high, minus 3 is very low. So you have to come in between to find the value. So the mean will be lying between 4 and 7. How to find out where it is exactly lying between 4 and 7? Okay, 6 between 4 and 7 da, 5 between 4 and 7 da. How to find the exact value? What we will do is, we will be doing 72 divided by 72 plus 3. Why plus 3? I am ignoring the sign. I know it is negative. However, I just want to know what is the numerical value of the difference. 0 லேருந்து எவ்வளோ difference? 3 units. So I am just taking the value, I am ignoring the sign. Into the difference between the two assumed mean, 7 minus 4. Which is how much? Calculate. .88. So therefore, actual arithmetic mean will be the lesser value. இதிலேந்து எடுத்துக்கோங்க 4 plus 2.88. So the answer is 6.88. The actual value of arithmetic mean is 6.88. So whenever they give you two assumed means, take whichever value, ஏதா ஒரு value numeratorல எடுத்துக்கோங்க. That value, smaller oda value எடுத்துக்கோங்க. Smaller mean oda value divided by value of the deviations from the smaller mean, deviations from the larger mean, ignore the sign. Total into the difference between the two assumed means 7 minus 4. And add it. Finally, once you get the value, add it with the smaller assumed mean that you started with. Clear?
Ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
இப்போ நம்ம -3 க்கு அடுத்து வந்துட்டு sum of deviations ஓட மீன் வந்துட்டு equal to 0 ன்னு போட்டுறலாம் மேம். அதுக்கு அடுத்து அந்த ஒரு ஸ்டெப்ல வந்துட்டு 7 minus 4 போட்டுருக்கீங்களா? அது மட்டும் எப்படி வந்தது மட்டும் சொல்லுங்க.
72 is deviation from 4. Denominatorல 72 எடுத்துக்கணும், 3 எடுத்துக்கணும். So this part you are clear, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now 7 minus 4 is nothing but இந்த ரெண்டு மீனுக்கும் நடுவுல தான் வேல்யூ வர போகுது. So இதோட டோட்டல் கேப் என்னது? 7 minus 4 which is 3 units. So இப்போ suppose இது 2 and இது 5 இருந்து 2 and இது 6 இருந்ததுனா 6 minus 2 ன்னு எடுத்துப்போம்.
Yes ma'am, yes ma'am. Okay.
Okay.
The 72 plus 3 அப்படிங்கிறது ignore the sign and 72 plus 3
take the total of the value.
Plus or minus plus தான் வரும் அப்ப.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Got it? Next. Mean of a certain number of items is 42. If one more item is added to the data, the mean becomes 44. The number of items in the original data is. So, I'm moving on to the next. Mean of certain number of items. So, let's take sigma x by n. N என்னன்னு தெரியாது is 42. However, if I am adding one more item, what is the number? 64. Now, in the sigma x, if I add 64 and divide by n கிடையாது, because I am adding one number, I will call it as n plus 1. Denominator, I am adding one number, so n plus 1. Now, what happens? The mean becomes 44. Okay? So, here I can write sigma x is equal to 42 into n. Now here I am substituting the sigma x as 42 into n. So 42 n plus 64 divided by n plus 1 is equal to 44. So 42n plus 64 is equal to 44n plus 44. Now bring all n values to one side and values to the other side. So you will get 64 minus 44 is equal to 44n minus 42n. So 20 is equal to 2n. N is equal to 10. So the total number of observations in the group is 10. Clear? The only major point here is in the second part you have to put it as n plus 1 because one value you are adding in the group. Can I continue?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Fifth one. The sum of squares of deviations of a set of observations is minimum when the deviations are taken from the arithmetic mean. It is a theory based question. Answer is arithmetic mean. Sixth one. It is more suitable when it is desired to give greater weight to smaller observations and less weight to larger observations. So you are doing opposite. Weight is given opposite in nature. Then this is used in harmonic mean. There are theory based questions. Note பண்ணிக்கோங்க. Where weights are given in opposite order. Where greater weight is given to larger data, smaller weight is given to greater weight is given to smaller observation and larger weight is given to smaller weight is given to larger observation. Then it is for harmonic mean. Opposite la varudhu. So reciprocal, harmonic mean. Seventh one. A person walks 8 kilometers at 4 kilometers an hour. 3 kilometers, 6 kilometers at 3 kilometers an hour. 4 kilometers at 2 kilometers an hour. Average speed per hour is. Now average in ketirukanga. Which average should we use? Answer. The average that we have to use here is harmonic mean. Like I told you, question will be silent. They will not tell you what average we need to use. You should remember if it is speed or per unit, per hour irukku pathingala. So per appdin vandadunave we need to use harmonic mean. Now how to calculate the harmonic mean? Edu x value, edu f value. That is what is very important here. Now they are asking you the average speed. Appo speed will be the x value and the other value will become frequency. Maathi eduthinga answer thappu. So here the person walks 8 km at 4 km an hour. Which is the speed? Is 8 km the speed or 4 km an hour the speed? 4 km an hour the speed. So 4 vandu x, 8 km vandu f. Similarly 3 is x and 6 is f. Similarly 2 is x and 4 is f. If you take it the opposite way, you will get the wrong answer. You will get the average distance and you will not get the average speed. Okay? So please check what average they are asking. Adha x value eduthukonom. Now we need to do sigma f by x. Okay, so 8 by 4, 6 by 3, 4 by 2. 2, 6. So, harmonic mean will be sigma f divided by sigma f by x. What is sigma f? 18. So, answer is 18 by 6, which is 3 kilometers per hour. This is the average speed, 3 kilometers per hour. Got it? Next question. In a certain factory, Work is completed by A in 4 minutes, B 5 minutes, C 6 minutes, D 10 minutes, E 12 minutes. Average number of units completed of work completed per minute is. They are not asking you average number of minutes taken. They are asking you average work completed per minute. So which mean we need to use?
Harmonic.
Very good. Harmonic mean. So the values of x are 4, 5, 6, 10 and 12. F கொடுக்கல. So வெறும்னா x வச்சு use harmonic means 1 by x எடுத்துக்கோங்க. 1 by 4, 1 by 5, 1 by 6, 1 by 10 and 1 by 12. N will be 5. So n divided by sigma 1 by x. 5 divided by total of all these. Total is 5 by 0.8, which is 6.25. So average unit of work completed per minute is 6.25. So this is 6.25 is the average minutes. இப்போ per minute, suppose question answer 6.25 இல்லைனா, you can just check the answer for this at this level, or you can check the answer as 0.8 divided by 5. 0.8 divided by 5 பண்ணுங்க. 0.16. In other words, if 6.25 is not there, so answer per minute will be taken as 1 divided by 6.25, which will be the same, 0.16. So either this answer will be there in the options or this answer. எது இருக்கோ you can accordingly choose. Average minutes ன்னு கேட்டாங்கன்னா 6.25 will be there. Average per minute ன்னு கேட்டிருக்கிறதுனால 0.16 could be there as the answer. So you have to be careful in choosing what option is available. Is that clear? Ninth question. Assumed mean is 35. Sigma deviations is minus 425. Sigma f is 63. What is the actual arithmetic mean? So, to find out arithmetic mean from assumed mean, note down the formula. Assumed mean plus sigma deviations divided by sigma f, or assumed mean plus sigma d by n. Either fd by sigma f or d by n. Whichever data is available, you can choose. So here fd is available. So we will use the first formula. 35 plus minus, inge sign ignore பண்ணாதீங்க, minus 425 by 63. You have to ignore the sign only when two assumed means are given. இங்க ஒரே ஒரு assumed mean தான் இருக்கு. So sign ignore பண்ணக்கூடாது. So 35 minus 425 by 63 will be 6.746. 28.254. 28.25 or 28.254 will be the final answer of actual arithmetic mean.
ரெண்டு அசியூமிங் இருந்தாதான் வந்துட்டு சைனை வந்துட்டு இக்னோர் பண்ணக்கூடாது, ஒன்னு இருந்தா வந்துட்டு இக்னோர் பண்ணிக்கலாமா?
கிடையாது, ஆப்போசிட்டா சொல்றீங்க. If there are two assumed means given, ignore the sign. Just apply it in the formula that I gave you. Whereas இப்போ இந்த क्वेश्चनல இருக்கிற மாதிரி ஒரே ஒரு assumed mean தான் கொடுத்திருக்காங்கன்னா இந்த மைனஸ் சைனை எடுத்துக்கணும், கன்சிடர் பண்ணணும், கன்சிடர் பண்ணி தான் வர்க் பண்ணணும். புரிஞ்சுதா?
எஸ் மேம்.
Yeah. Okay. Next. Please try this question. Sum of observations was 54,120. While computing, it was observed that two observations were wrongly entered as 850 and 320 instead of 580 and 230. Find the correct AM. So when you want to correct the value, first find the total. Add the right values, subtract the wrong values, and then find the correct AM. Can you try the answer? Question number 10. Sum of 20 observations was 54,120. While computing, it was observed that two entries were wrongly entered at 850 and 320 instead of 580 and 230. The corrected AM is. So 54,120 is the sum of 20 observations. Now add the correct value, which is correct value is 580 and 230. So plus 580 plus 230 minus wrong value 850 and 320. Minus 850 minus 320, which gives you how much?
53,760.
760. Now divided by total number of observations 20, because rendu value you have removed, rendu value you have added. So plus 2 minus 2. Again number of observations remains the same. So answer is 2688.
2688.
Yeah, 2688 is the final answer. 11th one. For a given frequency distribution, coefficient of variation is 30%. Variance is 36. So, coefficient of variation formula another SD by AM into 100 is equal to 30%. 30% means 30 by 100. Okay, or 30 directly you can take. Okay, 30 by 100 எடுத்தீங்கன்னா இந்த 100 போடக்கூடாது. If you are taking only 30 னா இந்த 100 போட்டுக்கோங்க. ரெண்டு இடத்துலயும் போட்டீங்கன்னா ஆன்சர் தப்பா வரும். Okay? Now
இப்போ அந்த 100 எடுத்துக்கிறோம்னா 30% ஒரு 100 மட்டும் எடுத்துக்க கூடாதுன்னு சொல்றீங்களா?
Yes. If you are writing formula 100, then write only 30.
Okay ma'am.
ரெண்டு இடத்துலயும் 100 எடுத்துக்காதீங்க. ஒண்ணா லெஃப்ட் சைடுல எடுங்க இல்ல ரைட் சைடுல எடுத்துக்கோங்க.
Okay ma'am.
Okay? So into 100 is equal to 30. Next, what else we have in the question? Variance is 36. So, variance is 36. Now, what is standard deviation? Standard deviation is?
Root of variation.
Correct. Root of variance, which is root 36, answer is 6. Now using that you can find the arithmetic mean. So 6 by arithmetic mean into 100 is equal to 30. So arithmetic mean is equal to 6 into 100 divided by 30. 30 comes on the other side, AM goes on the other side. So you get 20.
0.2.
Aha, 20 da. 0.2 எப்போ தப்பா வரும்னா ரெண்டு இடத்துலயும் 100 எடுத்தீங்கன்னா ஆன்சர் 0.2 ன்னு வந்திருக்கும். தப்பு. 20. AM is equal to 20. கரெக்டா வந்ததா இப்போ?
Yes, ma'am.
Now they have given Karl Pearson's coefficient of skewness is minus 0.25. So Karl Pearson's skewness is minus 0.25. What is Karl Pearson's skewness formula? Can someone tell me the formula?
Mean minus mode by standard deviation.
Very good. Mean minus mode by SD. So minus 0.25 is equal to mean, we already found out 20 minus mode by SD is equal to 6. So calculate பண்ணுங்க. 0.25 into 6. 20 minus mode. So mode is equal to 20 minus in the side vanda plus. What is the value? 0.25 into 6. 1.5, yeah. 1.5. Therefore, mode is equal to 21.5. This is the correct answer. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Next, 12th one. If y is equal to 3x plus 30, mean of x is 20, then mean of y is. For mean, we can use the entire equation as it is. So, just substitute y is equal to 3 into x. So, 3 into 20 plus 30. So, 3 into 20 is 60 plus 30. Mean of y is how much? 90. 90. Good. Next, 14th question. The mode of the following distribution is given. What is the median wage? But before that, if you see, there is one value which is nil. This nil kadayadu, this actually question mark. So, the mode is 66, where there is one segment where value is not given. Okay, now they are asking you the median. How to find out this missing figure? That missing figure part alone I will help you. You can do the median part subsequently. Now,
Using April calendar.
இல்லம்மா, they are using the formula L plus F1 minus F0 அந்த formula. ஏன்னா டேட்டா கொடுத்திருக்காங்க இல்லையா, மீன் மீடியன் ரெண்டும் ஏதா ரெண்டு வேல்யூ கொடுத்து ஒன்னு கேட்டாதான் எம்பெரிக்கல் ஃபார்முலா we need to use. So let me take the F values. 8, 16, 22, 28, one value is missing, and 12. Now if you see, they have given mode is 66. Now mode is 66 now, which interval it is lying? Between 60 to 70. Okay, now this mode 66 sort of formula another L plus F1 minus F0 divided by F1 minus F0 plus F1 minus F2 into C. So we need all these values to find out this missing figure. So let us see what are all the values that we have. Now, always the modal frequency is F1. How to find out the modal frequency? எது modal class? 60 to 70 the modal class because mode is lying in between 60 to 70. So this value is F1. Some people will wrongly assume highest value இதில் எது இருக்கோ அதுதான் F1. கிடையாது. Suppose இது highest value இல்லாம இருந்ததுனா கூட you should check where the modal class is lying, that one only will be the F1. For example, if mode was 73, then this question mark or suppose இது missing figure x ன்னு வெச்சுக்கறேனா இந்த x தான் F1 ஆ எடுத்துக்கணும். So you should not assume the given valuesல எது highest அதுதான் mode அப்படி modal value அப்படி கிடையாது. You should see where modal value is lying, modal classக்கு எதிர்த்தாப்புல எந்த frequency இருக்கோ that frequency only will be taken as F1. And now here preceding frequency is F0, succeeding frequency is F2. So substitute 66 is equal to L. L is the lower limit of the modal class 60 plus F1 28 minus F0 22 divided by 28 minus 22 into plus 28 minus x into c. So now don't take LCM and all and spend time. Just bring the 60 to the other side and subtract. So 6 is equal to 28 minus 22. 6 divided by 6 plus 28 minus x into c. C is what? 60 to 70. So 10. Now you can write 6 is equal to 6 by 28 plus 6 is 34 minus x into 10. So 34 minus x into 6 is equal to 60. Three not 4 divided by 6. I think I have made a calculation mistake.
It's
Sorry,
204.
204. Yes. Correct. 204. So this will be 264. My bad. I'm sorry. Answer is 44. Oh, minus 60 la. Wait, I think I made a mistake again. $204 minus 6x is equal to 60. So in the pakam minus la varum. 204 minus 60 is 144 is equal to 6x. So x is equal to 144 by 6. X is equal to 24. Now how you can check? See, this is not the modal class. Appo frequency will be less than the modal value only. இப்போ 44 னு முன்னாடி போட்டது தப்பு. ஏனா higher frequency வர முடியாது because this is not the modal class. So it will be less than 28 only. So x is 24. Now if you have got this value, you can calculate the median. For median, what formula we will use? We will use L plus n by 2 minus n1 divided by n2 minus n1 into c. That formula you can use to find out the median. That part I leave it for you to practice. I hope this frequency calculation is clear. Any doubts? Next. Moving on to the next question. Two variables are related by 2x plus 3y minus 7 is equal to 0. See this question very carefully. Mean and mean deviation about mean are 1 and 0.3. Find the coefficient of mean deviation of y. Now, coefficient we cannot use the relationship of change in origin and scale directly. So, we need to find out the mean deviation of y and then only find out coefficient of mean deviation. So, how to find this out? First, find out mean of y. What is the equation given? 2x plus 3y minus 7 equals 0. And mean of x is given as mean and mean deviation is 1 and 0.3. So, x is 1. So, mean of x is 1. Now, for mean, can I use the entire equation? Yes. So, 2 into 1 plus 3y minus 7 equals 0. So, 2 plus 3y minus 7 equals 0. 3y equals 5. Y equals 5 by 3. So, mean of y is how much? 5 by 3. Now, the next part is what is very important. We are going to calculate the mean deviation of y. Now, mean deviation of x is given as 0.3. இதை அப்படியே வெச்சுக்கலாம் first. Okay. Now, for finding out this mean deviation of y, you cannot use this entire formula. You remember we have learned for change in origin and scale in measures of dispersion, it is affected only by change in scale. அதுவும் only to the extent of magnitude, which is y is equal to modulus of b into x. So now what we are going to do, இதில இந்த b ஓட value மட்டும் தான் எடுத்துக்க போறோம். But what is the b value? That is very important. Can you tell me what is the b value here? How to find it out? Very simple. எப்பவுமே equationல y மட்டும் left sideல வெச்சுக்கோங்க. எல்லாத்தையும் right side எடுத்துட்டு போயிடுங்க. So the equation is 2x plus 3y minus 7 equals 0. இதில் இந்த y மட்டும் தான் இங்க இருக்கணும். Including 3, everything should go to the other side. So we will write it as 3y is equal to plus 7 minus 2x or y is equal to 7 by 3 minus 2 by 3x. Correct? Are you clear so far? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, modulus of b, I need to take this value. Whichever comes along with x, அதுதான் b. Now, adula modulus na, this sign will be ignored. I will take 2 by 3. So, now I will take mean deviation of y is equal to 0.3. Sorry. Modulus of minus 2 by 3 into 0.3. Which is 2 by 3 into 0.3. So, answer is 0.2. Now, therefore, coefficient of mean deviation will be equal to mean deviation by arithmetic mean into 100, which is 0.2 into divided by 5 by 3 into 100. Or calculate 0.2 into 3 by 5. Answer is 12. Answer is 12. Is that clear? So, please remember, for change in origin and scale, measures of dispersion, you need to calculate differently. Mathi panniradinga. If you do it like how we do for central tendency, your answer will be wrong. Can I move on to the next? Next question, 16th question. For a symmetrical distribution, the first quartile is 20. Q1 is equal to 20. Median is 24. What is the third quartile? Very simple. Remember, Q3 plus Q1 divided by 2. That the average of the two quartiles of the first and the last quartile is equal to median. Therefore, Q3 plus, what is Q1 value? 20 is equal to 24. Substitute Q3 is equal to 28, 48 minus 20. Answer is 28. Answer is 28. Okay. Next, same like 15th question. Instead of mean deviation, they are using coefficient of variation, which means they are asking with SD. Can you try 17th question? Same model like 15th. Please try and give me the answer. But remember, coefficient of variation is given. So, உங்களுக்கு arithmetic mean வேணும்னா first you have to compute arithmetic mean separately. Try. Let's verify. Coefficient of variation is 50. Standard deviation is 10. Appo 50 is equal to SD by AM into 100. So answer, so AM is 20. Now once you have got AM is 20, now let's do the equation 5x plus 3y, 5x minus 3y plus 7 equals 0. So 5x minus 3y plus 7 equals 0. Appo arithmetic mean of y will be substituted in the equation directly. 5 into 20 minus 3y plus 7 equals 0. 100 plus 7 minus 3y equals 0. One not 7 divided by 3. So arithmetic mean of y is 107 divided by 3. Now come to SD of y. For SD of y, you need to keep the equation as, keep y on the left side, take everything to the right side. Minus 7, so minus 3y is equal to minus 7 minus 5x. Or y is equal to minus of minus 7 by 3, minus of minus is again plus 5 by 3x. Now this 5 by 3 only we need to consider. So SD of y is equal to 5 by 3. Modulus la anyway it is positive, so into 10. So answer is 50 by 3. Now calculate coefficient of variation of y, which is SD of y 50 by 3 divided by AM, which is 107 by 3. into 100. 3 and 3 you can cancel. So 50 into 100 divided by 107, which is 46.73 percentage. Fine la? Percentage nu question la kuduthirundanga option la na use that. Illa 46.73. That is the final answer. Got it, friends? Now you are able to understand how to work for measure of dispersion. Friends, yes or no? Can I have an answer? Yes or no? Yeah. 18th, calculate first quartile. For Q1, we need to take, first arrange the values in ascending order. Then we need to take n plus 1 by 4th position. So let's quickly do. 15, 18, 10, 20, 23, 28, 12 and 6. So let's arrange in ascending order. You will get 10, 12, 16, 18, 15, 16, 18, 10, 12, 15, 16, 18, 23, 23, 28. So 20, 23 and 28. So how many observations we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now for Q1, the position is n plus 1 by 4th position. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 plus 1 by 4, which is 2.25, 2.25th position. Now how to find out 2.25? What is 2? Second position, 1, 2. Second position is 12 plus 0.25, அப்படியே எடுத்துக்கோங்க, 0.25 into difference between second, அதாவது taken value, second position and the next position, which is third position, which is 15 minus 12. So 12 plus 0.25 into 3, 0.75, answer is 12.75. Now, இதே method தான் Q3 கேட்டாங்கன்னா D1, D7, D5 எந்த நம்பர் கேட்டாலும் for Q you will use n plus 1 by 4 or 3 into n plus 1 by 4. For D, decile, you will use divided by 10. For percentile, you will use divided by 100. That is the difference. But everything, method of working remains the same. Clear? Next. Again, missing frequency question. The two frequencies are missing. Mean of the following frequency is 50. So the mean is given. Two frequencies are missing. You can calculate the missing frequency using the arithmetic mean formula. Next, 20th one. Calculate coefficient of skewness. For skewness, what is the formula? Carl-Pearson skewness. Mean minus mode by standard deviation. Again, you have to find out mean, you have to find out mode, you have to find out standard deviation. மூணுத்தையும் தனித்தனியா கண்டுபிடிச்சு then you need to substitute in the formula. And 21. For a moderately skewed distribution, arithmetic mean 160, mode 157, standard deviation 50. Coefficient of variation, how to find? Standard deviation by AM into 100. Pearsonian coefficient of skewness, very simple. For Pearsonian coefficient, Carl-Pearson's coefficient, mode, mean minus mode by SD. And the last one is median. Here we have mean, we have mode. Median எப்படி கண்டுபிடிக்கலாம்? What is the empirical formula? Mode is equal to
3 median minus 2 mean.
Very good. 3 median minus 2 mean. That formula we will use to find out the answer. And the last pattern in this X and ST, which is arithmetic mean and ST of 80 terms, is given as 50 and 5. Later on, it was found that a term of 17 was wrongly included as 71. Find the correct mean and ST. Now correct mean you already know how to find out. Let us understand how to find out correct ST. Okay. Now first let's do correct mean part. The wrong mean is given as 50 is equal to, for 80 terms, so n is 80 na, divided by 80, so sigma x by 80. So sigma x is given as 50 into 80, 4000. Now correct the value. How to correct the value? Add the right value, remove the wrong value. What is the right value? The right value was 17, wrongly included as 71. So plus 17 minus 71, which will give you how much? $3,946. Therefore, corrected arithmetic mean will be 3,946 divided by 80. Ena or value removed, or value inside. So 80 plus 1 minus 1. Ade 80 da. Now divided by 80. Your corrected mean will be 49.325. Are you getting this? Yes, friends, are you getting this answer?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now come to correcting the SD. This is where you have to be very careful. Let us see what is the wrong SD. 5. So 5 is equal to, now here for this you can't use x minus x bar formula because we don't have enough data. So you have to use the second formula, sigma x square by n minus x bar the whole square. Okay. So how we need to use this formula? So squaring on both sides, 25 is equal to sigma x square by 80 minus x bar. Now we are finding out the original x value. Now original value ku original x bar only we need to use. What is the original x bar? The original x bar was given in the question as 50. So here we need to use 50 square. So 25 is equal to sigma x square by 80 minus 2500. So when you take it to the other side, you get 2525 into 80 is equal to sigma x square. Okay. So 2525 into 80 is 202000. Now this is the value of original sigma x square. Now we are going to correct this. How to correct this? 2,02,000 minus wrong value. What is the wrong value? Or okay, plus correct value minus wrong value. Ana remember, inge square irukradhanaala ingeyum square dhaan podanum. So plus 17 square minus 71 square. Plus 17 square minus 71 square. So you get the answer as 197,248. This is the corrected value. Now find out the correct SD, which is root of sigma x square 197,248 by 80 minus, now to find out x bar, which x bar we will use? Correct original one or the corrected one? We have to use the corrected one because corrected value da use pannirkom for x square. So 49.325 the whole square. So you will get root of 32.64. So answer is corrected SD is 5.71. Corrected SD is 5.71. This is the final answer. Clear with the working step? Solluma.
Ma'am, and கொஞ்சம் ப்ரீவியஸா மட்டும் ஸ்க்ரோல் பண்றீங்களா? அந்த
Yes, yes.
இந்த பக்கம் ஒன்று போட்டிருந்தீங்க.
Yeah.
எஸ் மேம். Yes, ma'am.
Okay, understood friends? Others? So with this we complete questions based on arithmetic mean, which is measures of central tendency, measures of So with this we complete measures of central tendency, measures of dispersion and skewness. Very, very, very important topic from your examination perspective. Questions are going to be either theory, properties oriented theory question, or it will be small practical questions like how we have solved. Periya questions, 1 or 2 only will come. But in the very small questions, the ones that are having 2 or 3 work steps la answer vara madri. Ana formula you need to remember. Without remembering formula, you will not be able to touch any of these questions. Okay, so remembering the formula is very, very important in this chapter. I hope you are clear, friends.